Last week, something happened in my neighborhood that completely changed how I think about health. My neighbor's husband was scheduled for an important doctor's visit, one he'd been dreading for months because of his worsening condition, but on the morning of his appointment, he called the doctor's office and canceled. Not because he was scared or avoiding treatment, but because he had witnessed something the night before that made him realize he might not need that visit after all. I know this sounds impossible. Who cancels a medical appointment because of something they saw? But when I learned what he discovered, I understood why he made that choice. What he witnessed in our own neighborhood challenged everything he believed about healing and recovery. It was so simple, yet so powerful, that he decided to try it instead of going through with expensive medical procedures, the most incredible part. 3 months later, he's healthier than he's been in years. His family can barely believe the transformation. He's been hesitant to share this discovery because he knows how unbelievable it sounds. But after seeing the results in his own life, he feels others deserve to know about this natural approach that changed everything for him. To understand why this discovery was so life-changing, you need to know what my neighbor's husband was facing. For over 2 years, he'd been struggling with chronic fatigue, joint pain, and digestive issues that were getting progressively worse. Multiple doctor visits had led to a collection of prescriptions, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief. The upcoming appointment was with a specialist who wanted to run expensive tests and potentially start him on stronger medications with serious side effects. The medical bills were already straining their family budget, and the thought of more treatments filled him with anxiety. His wife watched helplessly as her once energetic husband became increasingly withdrawn and worried about his declining health. He tried following every medical recommendation, taking prescribed medications on schedule, following dietary restrictions, and limiting physical activity as advised. Yet despite his compliance with conventional treatment, his symptoms continued to worsen. Sleep became elusive, simple tasks exhausted him, and he began to lose hope that he'd ever feel normal again. The night before his specialist appointment, he couldn't sleep from worry about what new problems the tests might reveal and what aggressive treatments might be recommended. That's when he happened to look out his bedroom window and witnessed something that would completely change his perspective on healing and recovery. What he saw from his window seemed ordinary at first glance, but something about it struck him as unusual. In the backyard next door, his elderly neighbor, a woman in her late 70s who always seemed remarkably energetic, was performing what looked like a simple morning routine. But as he watched more carefully, he noticed she was doing something specific with her breathing while moving in slow, deliberate patterns. What caught his attention was her obvious vitality. While he struggled to get through each day feeling exhausted, this woman moved with the energy of someone decades younger. Her posture was straight, her movements fluid, and there was something almost radiant about her presence. He realized he'd never seen her looking tired or unwell. Despite her age, curiosity overcame his hesitation, and the next morning he approached her in her garden. When he complimented her on her apparent good health, she smiled and shared that she'd been practicing an ancient breathing and movement technique for over 20 years. She explained it was something her grandmother had taught her from their homeland. A simple practice that had kept their family healthy for generations. She demonstrated the basic technique, explaining how specific breathing patterns combined with gentle movements could activate the body's natural healing systems. The science behind it, she said, was only recently being understood by modern researchers, but the practice itself was thousands of years old. Instead of going to his doctor's appointment that morning, my neighbor's husband decided to try what he'd learned. He started with just 10 minutes of the breathing technique his neighbor had shown him, combined with the simple movements she demonstrated. Within the first hour, he noticed something he hadn't experienced in months, a sense of calm energy flowing through his body. By the end of the first week, the changes were undeniable. His sleep improved dramatically, and he woke up feeling more rested than he had in years. The constant joint pain that had made simple activities difficult began to subside. His digestion, which had been problematic for so long, started functioning normally again. His wife was the first to notice the transformation. She commented on how his color had improved and how he seemed to move with less stiffness. Friends who hadn't seen him in a while remarked on how much better he looked. The fatigue that had dominated his life for over 2 years was gradually lifting, replaced by genuine energy and enthusiasm. After a month of consistent practice, he decided to get blood work done through his regular doctor. The results surprised everyone, including his physician. Inflammation markers had dropped significantly, blood pressure had improved, and other health indicators showed remarkable improvement. His doctor asked what he'd been doing differently, amazed by the positive changes without any new medications or treatments. Most importantly, he felt like himself again, energetic, optimistic, and engaged with life in ways he'd forgotten were possible. The technique that transformed my neighbor's husband's health is surprisingly simple, yet powerfully effective. It's based on a specific breathing pattern that has been used for thousands of years in various cultures, combined with gentle movements that help circulate energy throughout the body. The core of the practice involves breathing in a 478 pattern while performing slow, flowing movements. You breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 7 counts, then exhale for 8 counts. During the breathing, you move your arms and torso in specific patterns that help activate different energy centers in the body. The elderly neighbor explained that this combination oxygenates the blood more efficiently while calming the nervous system and reducing inflammation. The morning routine takes just 1,015 minutes and requires no special equipment or expensive supplements. The breathing technique can be learned in minutes, though mastering the precise movements takes a few weeks of practice. What makes this method so effective is how it works with the body's natural healing systems rather than fighting against symptoms. The science behind this approach is fascinating. Deep, rhythmic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes healing and recovery. The specific movements help improve circulation and lymphatic drainage, supporting the body's natural detoxification processes when practiced consistently. This combination creates optimal conditions for the body to heal itself. The elderly neighbor shared that in her culture, this practice was considered essential daily maintenance, like brushing teeth. Families would practice together each morning, and it was credited with the remarkable longevity and vitality of their community. She emphasized that the key is consistency, practicing daily, even when you feel well, to maintain optimal health rather than waiting until problems develop. Word about this discovery spread quietly through our neighborhood, and several other people decided to try the technique. The results have been consistently impressive across different ages and health conditions. Mrs. Chun, who had been struggling with arthritis pain, noticed significant improvement in her joint mobility within 3 weeks. Her morning stiffness decreased dramatically, and she was able to reduce her pain medication under her doctor's supervision. A younger couple dealing with stress-related health issues found that the breathing practice helped them sleep better and manage anxiety more effectively. Their energy levels improved, and they reported feeling more resilient to daily stressors. Even their teenage daughter started practicing after seeing how much calmer and happier her parents became. The most remarkable case involves a man in his 60s who had been dealing with high blood pressure and pre-diabetes. After 4 months of consistent daily practice, his blood pressure normalized to the point where his doctor reduced his medication. His blood sugar levels also improved significantly, and he lost weight without changing his diet. What's particularly encouraging is how people of different fitness levels have adapted the practice to their needs. Those with mobility limitations found modified versions that still provided benefits, while more active individuals incorporated additional movements for enhanced results. The growing group of practitioners in our neighborhood has formed an informal support network. They share experiences, encourage consistency, and celebrate each other's improvements. The collective medical savings alone have been substantial, as many have been able to reduce medications and avoid costly procedures while improving their health naturally. The question many people ask is why such an effective, simple practice isn't widely recommended by healthcare professionals. The answer lies in how our medical system is structured and funded. Medical schools focus primarily on pharmaceutical interventions and surgical procedures, treatments that generate revenue for healthcare institutions. Natural healing methods like breathing techniques and simple movements can't be patented, so there's no financial incentive for pharmaceutical companies to research or promote them. Doctors aren't trained in these approaches during medical school, and they face pressure to follow standardized treatment protocols that emphasize medications and procedures. Additionally, insurance companies are set up to pay for drugs and surgeries, not for teaching patients simple self-care techniques. A doctor who spends time teaching breathing exercises doesn't generate the same revenue as one who prescribes medications or orders tests. This creates a system where natural, inexpensive solutions are overlooked in favor of profitable treatments. Many healthcare providers are genuinely caring people who want to help their patients, but they work within a system that limits their options. Some progressive doctors are quietly beginning to recommend complementary approaches like breathing techniques, especially as research continues to validate their effectiveness. The goal isn't to blame healthcare professionals, but to understand why simple, effective solutions often remain hidden while complex, expensive treatments are promoted. This knowledge empowers you to explore natural options that can complement or sometimes replace more invasive interventions. You don't need anyone's permission to begin improving your health with this natural technique. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity and safety. There are no side effects or contraindications for basic breathing exercises and gentle movements. You can start today with just a few minutes of practice. Begin by setting aside 10 minutes each morning, preferably in a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Start with the basic 478 breathing pattern. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 7 counts, then exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. Repeat this cycle 46 times initially, gradually increasing as you become comfortable. Add simple arm movements, raising them slowly as you inhale, holding the position during the pause, then lowering them as you exhale. Focus on smooth, flowing motions rather than rigid positions. The key is consistency rather than perfection, so don't worry about getting every detail right immediately. Track your progress by noting your energy levels, sleep quality, and overall sense of well-being. Many people notice improvements within the first week, though the most significant changes typically develop over several weeks of regular practice. If you're currently taking medications or dealing with serious health conditions, continue your medical care while adding this practice as a complement. Many find they can eventually reduce medications under medical supervision as their natural health improves. The same opportunity that transformed my neighbor's husband's life is available to you right now. You have the power to begin improving your health naturally starting today. This ancient wisdom, combined with modern understanding, offers hope for anyone seeking better health without relying solely on expensive medical interventions. Don't wait for permission from the medical establishment to take care of your body. Start with just 10 minutes tomorrow morning and experience the difference for yourself. Share this information with family and friends who might benefit from natural healing approaches. Your health is your most valuable asset. Take control of it naturally, safely, and effectively beginning today.